Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for listening and thanks for tuning in. And this is the Academic Answers podcast. If you're listening for the first time, we appreciate you. We are happy you're here and I hope you can find value. What we do is we use our experiences, our knowledge to guide those who have problems, who have issues, who want to work out different aspects of their life as it come down to personal development, you becoming better as a person. And there's a whole industry behind that. And the Bible is a personal development book. But sometimes we kind of classify personal development as a philosophy. But what you realize is that people who tend to get in that vein, who want to label it and brand it, are kind of excusing away their own responsibility for life, or want to think that life is straightforward. I do this and this is what will happen, and I can wing this thing, I can work this thing out, or I already have all that I need. So it's pretty much a fixed mindset where people think that this is the things that I need from their environment. So I can go and can get this degree, I can get this money, I can do this business, I'll get this wife, I'll get these kids, and I'll be all right. I'll figure everything else out because I have a college degree, or I'm smart enough, or my parents raised me well, or I am a conscious person. And that is so far from the truth. And we realize that as we go through lives, one of the overarching principles is that if you're not getting better, then you're pretty much getting worse. You're declining, because nothing stays the same. Stability died in the Cold War, as one writer said. So this question today is, it's funny that I get this question because I just put a blog on my Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, Low and Motivate the Car, about playing with the cards you're dealt with. So this person is saying that, Lowen, are you disillusioned that some people don't have the resources? I get you, I listen to you, I am trying my best, I'm doing stuff, but I realize or understand that some people don't have it as well as I have it. Some people are not as lucky. And I'll give you a story to kind of make my point when it comes on to this. You know, when I grew up in rural Jamaica, and the country in the Caribbean, in the rural parts, and we had a tough time growing up, and we had to produce the means of our own subsistence for the most part. So we have a house with like 8 of us, grandchildren, a few of my grandma's kids, the younger ones, and grandma really used agriculture to pretty much feed us with some amount of help from those of her of us mothers who were in the big city working, and so forth, and her children also. So most times we lived off the land. Everything we eat is what grandma produced or what come from the community through barter exchange. So if you have bananas, you would give me some bananas, I'd give you some yam if I have yam. When it comes on to meat, if someone have some meat from any slaughter of animals, then we would get some, they would distribute around the community. So there's this morning, that Sunday afternoon, that this function was being held at church, and everybody was off before me. Grandma left before us and told us to reach at a certain time, and everybody in the neighborhood pretty much are close, and my friends who were my neighbors were also in that neighborhood also. Or we're also gonna be at that function. So it so happened that I arrived late. My friends arrived before me, and I came up to the window of the church, the side of the church, close to where my grandma always sits. She always sits there. And I kind of take a peek inside to see if she was looking. And I'm saying, I'm going to time this thing to make sure that I can get inside the church so she don't realize what time I actually came. I was outside maybe another 10 minutes after I've already been late, timing her so I could get inside without her knowing that I came in late. So when the moderator said, let's just bow our heads in prayer, I thought that I'm timing this thing perfectly. So I am there now saying, okay, as soon as they they start to pray, I'm going to go in because I know everybody will be praying. If nobody will see me, I'll go in very quietly and I'll be fine. Anyway, I wait until about half a minute into the prayer, or a minute, and I slipped in easily, well, very anxious and just under the stress of not wanting grandma to see me. And when I realized not wanting to make any noise to kind of upset the crowd or get the attention of anybody in the audience and to disrupt the prayer, and I sneaked in and sat in my seat and settled, released that breath that you usually have when you are under stress, that anxious breath, that nervous breath. And once I released that breath and I opened up my shoulders, lifted my head to take that breath off and be comfortable now, I just double checked out of instincts over my grandma to see if she was still praying and not seeing me. And the minute I held up my head, that was me and her looking at each other directly. I wanted to disappear. I couldn't believe that she saw me. And now I was anticipating a flogging, because back in those days you get a flogging, not like the kids now, or in a first world country where you can't flog the kids, you can't do any type of corporal punishment. That was customary, that was a norm in the Caribbean. It was no big deal. You get a whooping, a good fine whooping. Anyway, so I managed to escape the flogging that evening, but the scolding was, inevitable. So the thing with the scolding is that the scolding from grandma is just as hectic or just as stressful as the flogging, because right throughout the scolding session, she will be asking you a lot of questions and she'll be staring at you so hard that you almost expect for the strap to come out at any particular point in time in that scolding. But luckily it never came out that time. I don't know why. I mean, that's unusual. It usually does come out. But she was asking me, why was I late? And everybody else was early. The neighbors were early. And the kids that I play with were early. What happened? And I said to her, well, Grandma, I had to go catch water at the public tank to take a shower. These guys have a water tank at their house. Because at the time we had to carry water from the public tank to get to use, to do whatever we wanted to do. And we had 2 45-gallon drums that we actually have to fill also for the house use, for grandma to use. And then whenever else we want for our own bath, we have to go and get it. So that evening I had to go and get the water for my own bath. And she said to me, that's an excuse. Never look at what other people have as an excuse for you not doing what you're supposed to do or coming up with the results that you are supposed to come up to with in life. In her words, she said, stay uncrooked and cut straight. What she meant is that play with the hands that you were dealt. That's what she meant. She meant, no matter what you're given, no matter your circumstances, you must learn to stay uncrooked. That means what you have, the little you have, and find a straight way. Use what you have to work through to what you want. Use what you have as a leverage, as a pillar, as the thing you have to get what you want. So I don't care what lifestyle you want. One guy sing and get himself to the lifestyle. The next guy paint and get himself to the lifestyle. The next guy teach and get himself to the lifestyle. You just have to have the attitude to know that you must use what you have. And there's no use comparing your stage 1 to someone else's stage 10. There's no use comparing your height to someone else's height. The way you were born, what you have is what you have. You might have to face this reality, this overarching reality, that you might have to work 10 times as hard as them. You might have to work 10 times longer than they did work. You may have to do that. It might so happen that you have to wait 3 years longer than they wait. But none of that matters. When we were going to school, one guy go over the book 3 times, the other guy goes over the book once, the other guy just goes to class. He gets it It doesn't matter. When you want your result, you do what it takes. You keep the end goal in mind, and if it means that you have to do 3 times more, work 6 times harder, you do it. Because it is the cards that you have been dealt. Get over whether life is fair. Get over whether life is hard. Look at what position you're in, what it will take for you. That's it, my friends. So forget resources. Think about your resourcefulness. Because nothing can stop a man who thinks he can. And nothing can help a man who thinks he can. Have a good day, guys. Always a pleasure.